Welcome to Collecting Chaos. My name is James, and this is Coffee with Chaos. Lukewarm coffee with chaos. Lost and glad you could stop in. What are we going to do today? Well, I've got the usual. I've got comics that I pressed. I got the comics that I picked up at the store today. A lot of doubles on those because they had some amazing covers. And I dug through my collection, just picked out some weird stuff. Well, some of it's more to show off than weird. And maybe some stuff you've never seen before. I don't know. We'll find out. Now, this morning I did a video based on my trying to teach myself how to grade comics. Went pretty good, except number one, the example comic I used is missing the centerfold. That kind of hurts it. And number two, I didn't do justice to the interior. So I will do another issue or another episode of that Friday. I will release that on Friday instead of waiting until next Wednesday because I haven't had a chance to work on Superman 14 this week. So maybe Saturday or Sunday I'll publish the Superman 14, probably Saturday. And then we'll get into 4-Color 49's cover. So I'm kind of dreading. But it should be interesting. Another hit of this coffee. Walking into my kitchen right now is like walking into a sauna. I'm in there for 2 seconds and I start sweating. So I didn't plug the coffee pot back in. I'm drinking it room temperature. The thing is, it's still a little warm, and I unplugged it at around 11 o'clock. No, about 9 o'clock. So, yeah. I might. I really didn't have. You see, the actual Prestige format didn't come out until the 80s. Before that, they were still considered saddle stitch, even though the staple went all the way through the middle or all the way through the comic. And I might point out the differences in the two. Yeah, I keep my air conditioner set to 70 and it's not working. The air conditioner works, but it still feels pretty bad. Let's go ahead and get started. We'll start with the magazines that I pressed and then we'll go to the comics. All we got to do is get it right. There we go. And we're going to start out with Bizarre Adventures number 31. Nice Joe Jusko cover. Taking a hard look at violence. They claim there's guns on this cover, but I've never seen them. Yeah, I live in Texas, so of course 100-degree weather is nothing that surprises me. For me, it just means I don't cut the grass until it cools off. Next up, we have another Joe Jusko cover with Bizarre Adventures number 32. Yeah. I might have to take this one out of the bag. This is Amazing Spider-Man Hooky, Bernie Wrightson. And it's actually, it is a perfect bound cover, as you can see. And it's a wraparound cover, which is why I say I Should probably take it out. I'm not going to take it out. I'm just going to pull the board. This is actually a Marvel graphic novel number 22 from 1988. Yeah, I like this one a lot. I'm not a big Spider-Man fan, but I'm a huge Bernie Wrightson fan, so I guess you know. Next up, we've got Howard the Duck, number 2. Who did this one? Val Merrick cover. Val Merrick, one of the unsung heroes of comic art. Yeah, I thought he had. Let me get the. I don't have the comments turned on. There we go. I thought he had done Hulk and Thing at one point. Putting the pants on Howard. Next up, we've got a Jack Davis cover on Howard the Duck number 3. You can't go wrong with Jack Davis art. What's next? I seem to be seeing double here. Yes, it's number 3 again. Oh, Frank Bruner did some awesome work. And Howard the Duck number 4. This is a John Pound cover here. John Pound, another underrated artist, in my opinion. Yeah, but his humorous stuff like he did here, and I think he did a lot of work for Mad Magazine also. Just perfect. And those are the 7 magazines I pressed this week. Good stuff. You'll see more in Howard the Duck next week. Yeah, he did. Yep. John Pound, like I said, he's a little bit underrated also. This is from 1974. It's a low-grade copy of Ripley's Believe It or Not, number 45. Cover is unattributed, but I suspect it's George Wilson. I'm probably wrong. Like I said, it's a really low-grade copy, but hey, at least I have a copy of it. And these are not always easy to find in high grade. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. It looks like George Wilson. Love his artwork on Gold Key books. Then, of course, Calvin and the Colonel from 1962. This is the last 4-color comic. The artist is unattributed. Tomb of Dracula, number 43 from 1976. Bernie Wrightson. I believe this is the only Tomb of Dracula cover he did, which is a shame. I wish he had done more. Is that another one you have to add to your collection, Lustin? by the way, I have a package here going to go out for you, Lawston. Problem is, the printer that I print my labels on died, and I should get another one tomorrow. So hopefully it'll be in the mail by Friday. And yeah, you can have your Classics Illustrated #3 finally. 1978 Richie Rich Success. They dropped stories from the title, and it's just Richie Rich Success at this point. Again, a lower grade copy. I'm not too worried about it. It's Richie Rich. In 1965, Hawkman #5, and of course, it's Murphy Anderson. He did most of the covers up to about #21, if not all of them. Joe Kubert only did a couple of Hawkman covers, but somehow he's more famous for having done them than Hawkman was, or than Murphy Anderson was. I don't understand. And we've got Joe Staton doing E-Man #19, the Hoodoo Blues. I think I showed a copy of this last week. So you're buying them and reading them, enjoying them, and then buying the next one, huh? That's a good way to do it. Cerebus 82, where Dave Sims kind of spoofs on Man Thing and Swamp Thing by joining them together. Classics Illustrated #60-158, L.B. Cole. I have several copies of this, one of which I'm giving away. Amazingly enough, I don't have the original cover. But Elf Thing #1. I think this was the only issue. Not going to swear to that. You'll see more parody comics later on. Yeah, Tomb of Dracula high grade is easy to find. Well, relatively easy to find, with the exception of #10, unless you want to open a vein. And I think #10 is maybe a little overpriced. Here we have Vanguard Illustrated #1. Tom Yeats did the cover. From 1978, we have Billy the Kid, #124, all John Severin art. Yeah, I think my #10 is about a mid-grade copy. Yeah, John Severin, of course you bought it off the spinner. It's a Dan DiCarlo Betty, #9. This was towards the end of his run on Archie Comics. I think in 1993. Yeah. Uh, they Archie kind of did Dan DiCarlo dirty, and he ended up leaving him, or they got rid of him, one of the two. This is a Paul Murray cover on Mickey Mouse, number 95 from 1964. It's a really, really nice copy. I'm not a huge Mickey Mouse fan, but this is just such a nice copy. I can't let it go. I would love to know who did the art on this next one. This is from 1954. Oh, I do know who did it. Sam Sevitt, and it's Gene Autry's Champion, number 13. And it's a birthday comic for me. It was the pull date for the shelf was April 1954, which was when I was born. So there you go. Really, really nice painted horse there. Sam Savitt, Savitt. Tomb of Dracula, number 44. Dracula battles Doctor Strange, and one will die. That's a Gene Colan cover. Maybe a mid-grade copy. I just wanted all of them so I could read them. I wasn't concerned with them being high grade. I figured I could upgrade them later. Now that I have them all, I probably never will. Richie Rich Zillions, number 9. We're coming to the end of my Richie Rich run, which is about time. Hawkman, number 9, Murphy Anderson. It's an extra special guest appearance by the Atom. And of course, Hawkman and the Atom became a thing later on. Nice. Yeah, I'm missing 6, 7, and 8, but I am looking at a copy of number 6. I'm kind of doing fills one at a time, from the lowest going to the highest. And then once I get all those, I'll work on finishing my Atom collection. E-Man 22. Of course, Joe Staton did the art. The Coming of Captain Koala. Well, if that's the first appearance of Captain Koala, that makes this a key issue, right? Must be worth millions by now. In, Iranian money. Cerebus, number 83, Dave Sim. Well, you got to get it because it's a key issue, You got to get this one. Like I said, it's a key issue. You can't be missing that one. Imagine that. This is number 60-167 from 1966. Again, Black Beauty. Funny part about it is this is in a worse condition than the one that was earlier. But I just love that cover so much that I can't have enough of them. Yeah, I guess. I guess every issue can be a key if you need it. Here's one you may not have seen before. The artwork is by John K. Snyder III, and it's called Fashion in Action Summer Special, #1. And it's from 1986. One of those oddball ones I have. An Al Williamson cover for Vanguard Illustrated #3. I might not have #2. I think this is this. I think this is the run that I'm missing some on. Beautiful Al Williamson cover though. Al Williamson, of course, known for science fiction. Space Adventures #10. Yeah, we've seen that before. Yeah, his polka dot monsters are next level. There's another Betty, Dan DiCarlo, Betty. I like the comment. Isn't this a great print, Archie? Totally original. And if you look at the curtains, Tony Strobel did this next one. It's Mickey Mouse #110. The Ghost of the Conquistador. I bought one off the spinner rack as well. I just don't know what happened to my original one. Um, After I joined the Army, a lot of comics disappeared. Yep. Felix, glad to see you. Oh, it's a little warm, around 100. Hasn't got hot yet. It's just warm. Did you get much rain from that event that's going on in the Gulf? From 1950, we have Gene Autry Comics #38. I am going to play your typical comic book seller right now, even though this isn't for sale. You know, if it weren't for this crease and these spine ticks, this would be a high grade copy. It's a medium grade. But I've heard that so many times. Well, if it weren't for this crease that goes, from here to here, it'd be near mint. No. Another Gene Colan cover on this Tomb of Dracula #45. This is it, the most requested story of all. Blade the Vampire Slayer battles Hannibal King, the vampire detective. I was reading comics at that time, and I never remember anybody requesting it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But it's only missing the back cover, right? It's missing the centerfold, but don't worry about it. That's a minor thing. It's not important. Here's another Richie Rich Zillions, number 80. Anyway, good to see you, Justin. Okay, glad you could stop in. Another beautiful Murphy Anderson cover. This one actually has the staple is blown out for about the first 5 pages. This is Hawkman number 11. So I need 6, 7, 8, and 10. E-Man number 24. No, that's the Shrike. Yeah. That character is called the Shrike. And this is his first appearance. It's a minor key. I don't think they ever used the character again. I don't remember. Yeah, his trade dress was awesome. He just jumps out at you. Ah, uh, and now here's a change. Here's Classics Illustrated number 60 dash 166. Al McHale did this cover. Probably more appropriate for the story arc, but damn, it just doesn't. I mean, it's just not the same. It just doesn't come close to LB Cole's. Let's see, we got another Cerebus 82. I don't know how many of these I've shown. I don't know how many I've got. This is Layla. Uh, Layla Dowling did this cover of Fusion number 4. It's the only issue of Fusion I have, so I've never read any of them. But I absolutely love this cover. Yeah, I had to send my sister a copy of the Black Beauty number 60, the LB Cole one, because she's a horse person and she loved it. Vanguard Illustrated number 4. Steve Rude did this cover. I'll be darned. I do believe I'm seeing double again. Yeah. But I didn't know I had two copies of that. You'd think, since I pressed them like a day and a half apart, that I would realize that there were two of them. Yeah, I didn't know until just now. Yeah. Double the John Severin. That's better than double the Billy Kid, the Kid. So yeah, that's what I pressed. Um, yeah, that was fun. Now, the comics I'm going to show later on, um, the kind of weird stuff. Some of it was weird, some of it isn't. That I pulled out of my collection because, like, I haven't shown you anything weird yet already. Um, those are going to be pressed. Most of them, not all of them. There's a few of them I don't think I should press, partially because they're just really nice copies already. Uh, and you'll know which ones they are. I don't press metallic covers. Just you don't. Yeah, cold press maybe, but not a heat press. No chance. But I figure next thing we're going to do is take a look at what I bought today when I was at the comic shop. The new stuff that I picked up. Uh, and there was 3 or 4 covers on most of these. Didn't buy all the covers. Some of them I only bought one. Some of them I bought a couple of. Some of them I couldn't decide which one I liked best, so I bought them all. But that's the way it is. So let's go back over and take a look at what I picked up on New Comic Book Day. And I'll warn you in advance, it's all DC. Well, kind of. Not really. I bought a big stack of Wonder Woman I didn't have, but I'm not going to show those tonight. I'll show those for what did I get. Absolute Superman number 21. I really didn't like any of the covers, but I like this one better than the other ones. So this is the one I bought. And then Absolute Wonder Woman number 22. What an incredible cover. What an amazing cover that is. But they can't go with just one amazing cover for Absolute Wonder Woman. This one is just, yeah, blew my mind. I had to have it. And they topped it off with this one. So I had to get all 3 of them. And of course, because I buy the variant cover, I get the A cover on the inside. I'm actually enjoying Absolute Wonder Woman more than I am Absolute Batman and Absolute Superman. I think this is my favorite of the 3. This is Terry Dodson. This one is, I can't read it. Juan Ferreira. And this one is Raza. Then there's Action Comics. And there was a couple of covers on this that I didn't get because I just didn't like them. And I wasn't going to get this one, but I thought, yeah, I kind of have to because it's a really cool cover. This is the inside, and it's the 1100th issue, so I wanted more than one cover. Yeah. And then this is the other cover I got for Action 11 or 1100. I just really like this cover. That's a good Superman cover there. Yeah, I liked both of them. And then The Peril of the Brutal Dark. I'm really enjoying this series. Of course, it's Vertigo. DC did bring back Vertigo finally. And they've got some good. Um, the Nice House by the Lake and The Nice House by the Sea, I'm getting bored with. Yeah, it's a Zeppelin. This basically takes place in the 40s, right around the time of World War II. And then we've got Dark Knights of the Steel 2 Special, Heir to the Sea. Haven't read this. I haven't read the first issue yet. Haven't read this one, obviously. I just got it today. But I will. And then Detective Comics number 1111. There is the main cover, the bird, the bat, and the arrow, which is an awesome cover on its own. And of course, yeah, really like that one too. There's The Flash, number 35. I still haven't decided if I like this or not. I like the artwork, I like the covers, but the story kind of rambles. It's kind of confusing. Probably because I picked it up late in the series. Green Lantern 37. Yeah, I'm sure. Here's the Harley Quinn swimsuit issue. Terry Dodson again. Kind of an awesome cover. Very humorous, very appropriate for Harley Quinn. But there was another cover. Let me show you the inside of it. There's the other. That's the A cover. How could I pass that one up? Oh my god! I mean, it's very manga looking. Justice League Unlimited. I just couldn't pass this one up. And they're going to, Justice League fighting Despero. Yeah, okay. We can do that. Yeah. Sailor Moon wishes she looked that good. And the Justice League Unlimited swimsuit cover. I just realized the Autumn is bouncing off of her boob. This was the only Superman cover that I liked. Another Spears cover. Very reminiscent of George Reeves, which is probably why I like it so much. And Superman, Father of Tomorrow, number 3. This is not Clark Kent. This is not Kal-El. This is Jor-El. Of course, it's an Elseworlds book. Really nice. And then I picked these up because I have number 90, which is number 3 in the series. What they did is they started with number 88, and they renumbered it as it's a reprint, but they renumbered it as something 1989, number 1. But that is the main cover. And that's the only variant cover I could find. I wanted to get all of these, all of the metallic ones. This is a Vetch cover here. And it's just a variant cover. There's no A cover listed, obviously. But I like it. And I have it. I have those Swamp Things. And this is number 91, I believe. Yeah. Well, you want me to throw this in? You want me to reopen the box and toss this in, and you can draw on it? You can scribble something on it? I can always get another one. All right, I'll do that. I'll open that box tonight and I'll stick that in there, and you can have fun with it. And of course, Zatanna number 4 came out. And you know, they just can't leave Zatanna alone. They have to do just multiple incredible covers on Zatanna. Welcome, Dan. Glad you could stop in. And then after they do these 2 incredible covers, what do? They have Adam Hughes do one. How do I pass up an Adam Hughes Zatanna cover? I don't think it's possible. Yeah, she's also probably the most powerful mage in the DC universe. I've always liked Zatanna. One of my one of my many favorite DC characters, along with all the others. We're going to get started on the other stuff, the weird stuff. And most of these are not in plastic because I took them out. Because the bags and boards they were in, some of those bags and boards were like 40 years old. And I want to put them all in. Yes, I do have number 4, Hawkman number 4. It's not in the best condition in the world, but hey, I've got a copy. Somebody scribbled on it, but you know, that's provenance. And, I think you're going to get a kick out of these. We will actually look at the interior on most of these, not on all of them, but on most of them. Some of them I'm just kind of bragging when I show them. Some of them not. Yeah, that's not a cheap comic either. Hawkman number 4 is not an inexpensive book. I mean, it's not Lois Lane number 1 expensive, but it's up there. Let's go back and check it out. And I'll admit, this first one, it's a 3D comic. It's a Jerry Iger's Sheena, Queen of the Jungle, 3D. And I'm showing it just to be an ass because it's Dave Stevens and I have it. And there's a whole ton of people that don't. Yeah. Like I said, I'm just showing this one to be an ass because I have it. I wouldn't be surprised. He's one of my favorite, if not my favorite, one of my favorite artists from the 80s. Yeah, you should have rebagged with Mylar. That's what I'm doing. That's what this is in. This is in a Mylar, and I'm rebagging everything in Mylar. All right, this is Strange Wink. I think this was issue number 3. It's John Bolton's book, and I've never seen another issue, so it's. I'm not going to say it's rare because I don't think any comics from the 80s and 90s are legitimately rare, with the exception maybe of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles number 1, first print. But yeah. It's just a weird book that I don't see very often, and I would love to get the other ones, or at least the first 2. And this one is going to get pressed. It has it has some dents and dings in it that I think I can get out, so I'm going to go ahead and press this one. And this one was also had a I don't know if you can see it or not, but there's an indentation here where it had a sticker on it, and I removed the sticker. And I think I did an amazing job. Because if it weren't for that dent, I don't know if you can see it or not. Yeah, I don't think you can see it, but it's right here. And if it weren't for that dent, I wouldn't know there was a sticker there. Nice. Yeah, I can press it out pretty easy. It's not going to be hard at all. And I will show that again. Next thing I want to show, this is from the 90s. And I just love it. It's Sergio Agron's Dia de los Muertos, Day of the Dead. Not really a rare comic. You just don't see it very often. And of course, it's Sergio doing what Sergio does best. Like I said, pressing out those dents, that's really easy to do. You might like this next one too. This is a Comico comic. Uh, and it is the first color appearance of Troll Lords. Troll Lords are just cool. Salesboy Comics. Is it? Troll Lords are just cool. Next, I have a. This is a character created by David Wohl and Dave Finch. Aphrodite 9. Of course, Dave Finch's earliest work, well, I think, was in Cyberforce, maybe? No. It was one of the Image titles. He started around 93, 94. But this one this is where he really took his art to the next level, I think. And of course, he's done some work in Wonder Woman and other comics. I think this is the newest comic I have in this lot. I might be wrong. Next, we have another Comico. This is Fish Police Special, #1. And this one they did in color also. Comico was good for taking black and white comics and putting them into color. And of course, Marvel picked up Fish Police and published them for a while. I think he worked on another one too. I've got it. I don't remember it. Yeah, we'll get to that. This is Elementals, #1, Comico. Does that make it even nicer? The fact that it's signed on the interior like it should be. Uh, Here's one you may or may not have ever seen. This is from the 90s also. It's from Epitaph. It's called Blood Fang, and this is issue 0. Not an amazingly great comic, but something different. Greg Buckenstedt did an assist, but Scott Rosema did most of it. Pretty much unknown artist and writer. But he's not bad. He's not great, but he's not bad. He's got his own style. Uh, Small press. I don't know how many copies were done. Yeah. If I was going to have a book signed that I knew was going to be put in a slab, I'd ask him to sign the back. That's just me. This next one is one you may or may not have ever seen before. Dennis Braun did the cover. And it's G.I. Jackrabbits, A Real American Hare. I saw this cover and went, yeah, I have to have that. This is from 1986. And it's not great art. But it's fun. And comics are supposed to be fun. I don't know if there was ever a second issue. There's Don Morton's Space 1958. I think this one was done in the 2000s. Absolutely love this cover. Yeah, 2004. The artwork on the interior is amazing. Don't know if there was ever an issue number 2. It has number 2 question on it. But I love that cover. That cover reminds me of the 1940s, 1950s, more 1950s. This cover is a bloody mess. Berserker number 1 from Eternity. The interior art, I think, is a lot better than the cover. But yeah, it's definitely got some violence. Steve Adams pencils. They also had pencils by the first 10 pages were by Angel Medina. So these first pages, no wonder they look so good. Here's one that I've had several people try to get off of me, and I always tell them, oh, hell no. Critters #1. I just tell them like it is. Oh, hell no. The first story, Usagi Yojimbo. Of course, Stan Sakai. And then we go from that to, I think this is Cutie Bunny. Yep, Cutie Bunny. And Cutie Bunny was done by Joshua Quagmire and Dave Garcia. And this is Steve Galassi did this Birthright. Yeah, I am not letting go of that. Yeah, I'm going to press them. I'm going to press it. This is another 90s comic called Cinder. And they did an action figure for Cinder. I have one somewhere. Of course, there's no feet. Yep. Cat Fight #1. From Insomnia Press. Let's see. Carol Lawrence did the interior. Clark Hallbaker did the cover. The next one I'm going to show you, if you like Ron Lim's art, this is a comic you absolutely, positively have got to own. Because it's X Mutants #1, which is the first Ron Lim published artwork. I did a little research on this, And you'd think, with having done X Mutants, which is kind of a spoof on the X-Men, if you think about it. Oh, and Ron Lim also helped to write this. But if you think about it, the only X-Men he did as an artist was like X-Men 2099. He never actually got to do the actual X-Men except for an occasional cover, which is a shame. And on the same time, it's not a shame because we had all of those wonderful Silver Surfer comics that he penciled. So I guess I can forgive him for that. Next up, Bernie Wrightson, Captain Stern. Running out of time. I think this was 4 issues. I do have them all. If it's 4 issues, I have them all. I should put it that way. No, it's 5 issues. I still think I have them all. I'm not sure. But yeah. Story and art. Yeah, that's one worth picking up. And we can't really show 1980s comics that are kind of off the wall without showing something from Aircell. Aircell. Interesting name for a comic group. They got the name from their air conditioner. This is Ripper number 1. And it's Barry Blair. And Barry Blair did so much of that stuff, it isn't funny. And I like his art. It's different, but I do like Barry Blair's art. I think he's very underrated as an artist. People just want his nudie stuff that he did. Next up, let's see, what is this? Oh, Cave Woman Rain, number 1. Bud. This is from 1994. Bud Root did the art, of course, and he did the writing. This next one is I don't know, it's some off the wall artist nobody ever heard of. I'm sure Loston recognizes it right away. Of course, it's done by our own Loston Wallace. And yeah. He does a pretty good ape. And his dinosaurs aren't bad either. Nice. I've had this comic for about 9, maybe 10 years, and never really paid attention to it. Very cool. And I want you to know that the only reason I included this cave woman was as an introduction to this. Hey, that's better for me, right? That it was your first comic. Next up is one that people pass this by for some reason. I don't understand why. This is Mythography #1. The Mythography series was so good. Jimmy Robinson, Terry Wood, Drew Hayes, Michael Cohen. Yeah, let's look through a little bit of this. And I don't know why people would pass it by. I got like 5 copies in and couldn't sell them. And you would think that it would sell. Poison Elves, The Crow. I mean, it's got Drew Hayes in it. Michael Cohen. I think I ordered like the first 3 or 4 issues and they didn't sell. I ended up giving some away. I wish I hadn't. I wish I kept them all. But I kept one of each. The Adventures of Simone and Ajax. Definitely worth picking up if you get a chance. The Adventures in the Mistwood, John Arthur Williams. Art is so good. That cover is so good. Blackthorn Publishing. And it doesn't look like anything was inked. It looks like that they shot the pencils. But the art, in my opinion, is absolutely amazing. Yeah, the interior art is just as good, but it looks like it was just pencils. Yeah, it's worth it for the cover alone, but the pencils on the interior are just as amazing as the cover is. Next, this is a another Steve Rude cover. Another comic done by Kamiko. Space Ghost. Uh, this is a perfect bound copy. Uh, there's 2 different types. There's square bound and perfect bound. Perfect bound do not have staples. Square bound have staples. Yeah, the coloring is incredibly good. All right, you asked for it. Here you go. Fish Police, Volume 1, Number 1. I told you I'd get to it. I don't have all of the Fish Police, but I have a good number of them. And these early issues are just, they're too good. Back in the 90s, you could not buy a copy of Fish Police. And not because they were expensive, it's just because the people that had them didn't want to sell them. Next up, we've got from Apple Comics, Dark Fantasy, number 1. Kevin Schnaper. Good. I think it's a well-designed cover. He's not a bad artist. But I don't think I've ever seen anything else by him. Yeah. Very reminiscent of... but like I said, this is the only thing I've ever seen by him. I'm sure he did other stuff, but that's all I've ever seen by him. From Metro Comics, we have... Wait, that's not right. There it is. Tex Benson, number 1. No, that's number 3. That's number 1. The 4-issue miniseries. And as you can tell, I have all 4 of them. Omar did the back cover. Front cover by... It doesn't say. So I assume Chuck Roblin. Yep, there's his signature right there. More black and white goodness. That seemed to be the style for that particular time frame. Everything is really dark. But he was pretty good. And I have all 4 of them. Yeah, the lettering's kind of hard to read. But, you know, you're going to have that with the the mid 80s self-publishing stuff. Next up, Harrier Comics presents Shock Therapy, number 1. They did 6 issues. This from Harrier Comics is the UK version. There was a US version also. And Howard Priestley did the art. And again, it's that real dark stuff. But I absolutely love this book. I've read the first 3. And I would like to be able to find 4, 5, and 6, but I've never been able to find them. Yep. This book I'm sure you're all familiar with. I believe this was the first Harris Comics, Vengeance of Vampirilla. The first Vampirilla comic from Harris. I will not be pressing this with a hot press. I will be giving it a cold press, though. Quesada. Can't go wrong with Quesada. This is the first print. Nice and shiny. And here's the second print that is a little harder to find than the first print. Again, nice and shiny. Both of them are going to get a cold press. I could never decide which one I liked better, so I'm keeping both of them. And Vampirilla Classic, where they reprinted the first Vampirilla story in color. Jose Gonzalez. And then we have Vampirilla Lives. And the Vampirilla Monthly Series Preview Edition. And that's the one where they changed the costume on it, and I got pissed off and stopped buying them. Because her new costume just is horrible. And here's the #1 issue. I don't know if this is the one where they actually change it or not. No, this isn't the one they change it. Early Amanda Connor artwork. Somewhere in my stuff, I have a Vampirilla sketch by Amanda Connor. But that's early Amanda Connor work. Next up, what do I have here? Spoof Comics, #7, Justice Broads. X-Babes versus Justice Broads. Adam Hughes cover, early Adam Hughes stuff. This was the special one with the trading cards. Only 1,200 of them with trading cards. Then Spoof Comic 0, Imp Unity, Gender is Not Absolute. Gotta love Spoof Comics. That's a wraparound cover, so I stuck the backing board in the center, which actually is a good way to preserve the spine. And we have from Parody Press, we have Babe Watch. Cover 1A. By Mouse. And cover 1B, I believe, or is this just, no, this is cover 1DD. By Mouse, of course. And here's another Parody Press comic, Skin 13. Again, Mouse cover. I like Mouse's artwork. Uh, this one, I'm not showing the interior of this one. I'm not showing the interior on any of the rest of these. This is a Vic Martin cover. And I probably should, I don't really want this in my collection, but the cover makes me smile and laugh. So, Quintilla Prim, the sexy super spy. There is nudity in the comic, which is why I really don't want it in my collection. But that cover just makes me laugh. And finally, and it took them a good 30 years to finally do a comic book. But we have Mac Bolan the Executioner, #1, Collector's Gold Edition. Mac Bolan the Executioner, #1, Indestructible Edition. The cover is made of Tyvek. And if you notice, these covers aren't actually the same. Then we have Mac Bolan the Executioner, #1. That's the X edition. And here's #2. And #3. And I don't seem to have #4. I thought I had it. Might be in a different part of that box. Yes, the original Punisher. Absolutely. You are 100% correct. And I read the original. I was reading the Executioner novels when they came out with the Punisher. And I was pissed because, as far as I'm concerned, it was a direct ripoff of the Executioner series. No question about it. That's some weird stuff from my collection. Some of it you've probably seen before. Some of it maybe you haven't. Some of it maybe made you go, huh? Why? What were they thinking? In the 80s, they published everything. You're lucky I didn't find all of my Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle ripoffs, because I have a lot of them. You know, Gangrene, Dirty Jean, Kung Fu Kangaroos, Miami Mice, which isn't really a ripoff because it was different. Boris the Bear, which is my favorite of all time. Yeah, I've got some of the Destroyer books also. I've got some of the original Destroyer books from the 60s. And there was a couple others too that I used to read. Pulled out, like I said, I think they're interesting. I like that stuff. I probably won't press the Executioners. These have been in Mylar for almost as long as I've owned them. So I don't see any reason why I should take them out. So yeah, I've got some stuff. And I've still got a lot more that I haven't even, you know, I haven't scratched the surface yet. I've got so much. Well, I've got things I need to get done. Yeah, it was. Yeah. And the destroyer covers were no slouch either. I got some up there. I can show some of those next week if you want. I've got most of that stuff up for sale on eBay. Trying to get rid of it. I've got way too much stuff. I need to make room. I don't have enough room for my comics. So anyway, I think that's going to be it for tonight. My throat's getting a little sore, and I'm going to let you all go. I'll see you next week. Same time, same place. And my Superman 14 is going to be late. It probably won't be until Saturday morning. But I will probably for Friday. I'm not going to do a video tomorrow morning because I didn't make one yet. So for Friday, I will most likely do the grading of the interior wrap and go into detail like I should have done in the first place. And, we'll see you then. In the meantime, take care, everybody. Have yourself a great week. And yeah, get more people on here on Wednesday nights. See you next week. Bye.